Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. We are back with Indian English Literature, a historical overview, part 7. Today I will talk about modernism and after in Indian English poetry. Modernism and after in Indian English poetry. Modernism brought a significant shift in Indian English poetry, emphasizing free verse, experimentation, and themes of alienation, urbanity, and identity. Poets moved away from traditional lyrical and romantic forms toward a fragmented and personal expressions. Nizam Ezekiel pioneered a modernist Indian English poetry addressing identity, urban life, and irony. Ezekiel's work, Night of the Scorpion, captures rural-urban contrasts with a humor and a realism. His works, like Hymn in Darkness, reflect existential and spiritual questioning. A.K. Ramanujan explored folklore, mythology, and a personal identity in a bilingual poetry. Ramanujan's work, Relations, blends Indian familial themes with a modernist style. His work, Second Sight, explores cultural memory and a post-colonial consciousness. Jayanta Mahapatra interweaves history, culture, and existential concerns in poetry. His work, Indian Summer and Hunger, depict a personal and a societal alienation. Mahapatra's work, A Reign of Rights, examines ritual, mortality, and urban anxiety. R. Parthasarathi addresses displacement, colonial legacies, and identity through his works Rough Passage. His work, After the Silence, explores diasporic experiences and a fragmented memory. G. Patel reflects on human suffering, social issues, and urban alienation. His work, Mirroring, uses lyricism to engage with environmental and existential themes. Patel's work, How to Be a Cow, critiques urbanization, politics, and a human inhumanity. K.K. N. Dariwala employs vivid imagery and myth to explore violence and history. His work, Crossing of Rivers, juxtaposes personal and national trauma. Dariwala's work, The Keeper of the Dead, engages with a post-colonial memory and ethics. Shiv K. Kumar examines human emotions and existential dilemmas in his verse. His work, Trap Falls in the Sky, highlights psychological and moral conflict. Eunice D'Souza is known for irony, feminist critique, and urban realism. Her works, Fix and selected poems reflect social commentary and personal introspection. Adil Juzabala experiments with avant-garde forms and global literary themes. His work, Missing Person, explores alienation and a diasporic identity. Kamala Das introduced the confessional poetry into Indian English literature. My Story and A Summer in Calcutta explores sexuality, love, and identity. Das' work, collected poems, delve into gender politics, autonomy, and emotional intensity. Arun Kolatka blends realism and myth in urban and rural landscapes. His work, Jejuri, is a landmark work capturing modern Indian life and a spiritual reflection. Kolatka's work, Sarpasastra, explores historical and mythical consciousness. Vikram Seth innovates narrative verse and cosmopolitan themes. His work, The Golden Gate, is inspired by Pushkin's Eugene Onegin, blending formal structure and a modern life. Said's work, Mappings, showcases lyrical and cross-cultural exploration. Meena Alexander reflects on exile, memory, and a diaspora in poetry. Her box, Illiterate Heart, Another House of a Thousand Doors, engage with a dislocation and a belonging. Alexander merges personal, political, and historical narratives in her works. Tabish Khair combines postmodernism, historical consciousness, and a cultural critique. His work, Red Earth and a Pouring Rain, explores colonial legacies and transnational identity. Khair's poetry interrogates globalization, memory, and a cross-cultural tension. Vijay Sheshadri won the Pulitzer Prize for his philosophical and personal reflections, The Disappearances, and three sections merge urban experience with existential inquiry. Mamang Dai draws from Northeast Indian landscapes, culture, and oral traditions. The work River Poems and the Black Hills foreground a regional identity and a myth. Dai's poetry bridges tradition with a contemporary social and ecological concerns. Jeet Thayil captures modern urban life, addiction, and existential dislocation. Narcopolis, and these errors are correct, fuse music, urbanity, and a meditative reflection. Ranjit Hoscott engages with a cultural memory, ecology, and a postmodern aesthetics. The Cartographer's Apprentice and a Central Time explores cosmopolitan experience. K. Sachidanandan integrates social, political, and a linguistic modernity in his poetry. The book Other Poetry and a Center for Learning tackle post-colonial and contemporary urban issues. Dom Moraes bridges lyrical tradition and a modern alienation in urban India. The work A Beginning and poems reflect existential dilemmas and diasporic sensibilities. Arundhati Subramanian fuses devotional lyricism with a postmodern experimentation. In a work, When God is a Traveler, reinterprets spirituality in a contemporary urban context. Tishani Doshi explores feminism, diaspora, and a cultural hybridity. Her work, Countries of the Body, blends personal experience with a political consciousness. Aga Shahid introduces the ghazal into Indian English poetry. The Beloved Witness, and another book, Call Me Ismail Tonight, combine exile, memory, and a lyrical mastery. Meena Kandasamy addresses caste, feminism, and social justice in poetry. Touch and a Miss Militancy are examples of radical social critique in verse. Sudeep Sen merges global modernist lyricism with the Indian cultural motifs. In his work, Postmarked India and a Winter's Tale engage with a transnational identity and a modernity. Modernist and a contemporary Indian English poetry remains experimental, socially aware, and a globally resonant. Poets continually adapt to reflect urbanization, gender politics, migration, globalization, and post-colonial realities. The use of free verse and fragmentation allows poets to explore psychological depth, diasporic experience, and inner consciousness. Contemporary poetry synthesizes myth, folklore, spirituality, urban life, and a postmodern technique. Modern Indian English poetry has become pluralistic, diverse, and globally influential. It retains deep engagement with the Indian ethos and traditions.